welcome in. We're just going to give it another few seconds while we wait for a few other folks to come in. Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and others may join us as we go. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions so our presenters can hear. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org or CACRAO.org. The presentation is also being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website. I'm now going to turn off my video and mute and turn it over to our presenters. Thank you.
Hi there, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to wait a quick second while you can see our presentation. There we go. Welcome to our degree completion programs panel today. My name is Milena Velez, and I'll let my co-presenters introduce themselves in a little bit. So first thing I want to tell you, we'll kind of introduce our own institutions and then go into a little bit more theme-specific information about online degree completion programs in general. But first, I would like to tell you a little bit more about Newberry College. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Newberry, and for those of you who are not familiar with us, we are a private liberal arts institution located in Newberry, South Carolina. We're just under 1,300 students on campus, and while the vast majority of those students are traditional undergraduates, we do have about 60 to 65 students every year who are enrolled in one of our 4 online degree completion programs, and I'll tell you a little bit more about those in a second. At Newberry, we focus on ensuring student success in a wide variety of ways. For example, we provide individualized advising services both on the academic side, what you're used to seeing in terms of academic support and academic advisor, and from a student success perspective through our Center for Student Success, where we have 4 highly qualified student success coaches who meet with the students as often as needed to assist with various things, anything from degree plans to progress towards graduation, study and learning skills, etc. The success coach, the academic advisor, and the students usually work together throughout the student's career to ensure the best possible experience. And this applies both to our undergraduate traditional students and, of course, to our online student population. Additionally, we have a significant focus on financial accessibility and on making Newberry affordable for our students. As you can see on the slide, 99% of our students receive financial aid. And in 2020, the U.S. News and World Report had us ranked number 6th best value in the South, while LendEDU actually ranked us number 1 in South Carolina for the least amount of student debt, which is tremendous, especially when we're talking to adult learners who are the primary audience for our online degree completion programs. So speaking of our online degree completion programs, let me tell you a little bit more about our specific programs. Like I said, we have 4 of them: criminal justice, psychology, RN to BSN, and respiratory therapy. That's a Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Therapy. Criminal justice and psychology are more of your true degree completion programs in the sense that the admissions requirements are for the student to have a minimum of 45 transferable credit hours from all previous institutions combined, but we're not looking for a specific major or degree that is needed to enroll in those two programs. On the other hand, for our professional programs, the RN to BSN and the Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Therapy, the applicant does need to have either their RN degree and licensure or their respiratory therapy assistant degree and licensure in order to qualify for admissions. The application process for all 4 programs is pretty simple, however. We just need the application form, which is free to submit online, and all of your official transcripts from previous institutions, as well as copy of your licensure for our RN to BSN and BSRT program students. Since students in our online programs are also South Carolina tuition grant eligible, if you are a South Carolina resident, we'll also ask you to please send us your final high school transcript in order for our financial aid office to be able to apply for that tuition grant for you. So that's it for Newberry for now and all of our programs, pretty easy and straightforward. And I'll hand it over to Meta so she can tell you more about Columbia College.
Good afternoon now, everyone. It's great to see everyone on here today. I'm going to tell you a little bit of general information about Columbia College, and then I'll go into our online specific programs and completion degrees. So Columbia College is located in Columbia, South Carolina. We are a private liberal arts co-ed institution. We do have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio on campus. So about an average of 15 students in each class for the on-campus programs. Some of our popular majors are education, business, speech language pathology, and biology. Not all of those are offered online, but we will get to all of the online programs in just a minute. Students can transfer in up to 90 credit hours, which is really good if you've already had a lot of experience at the college level before. We do have 10 women's and 4 men's athletic teams in the NAIA division. And we have undergraduate programs that are offered during the day, online, and evening. We do have some graduate program offerings. Some are hybrid where you'll meet on campus 1 weekend a month, and then the rest of the program would be online. And we do have some completely online degrees as well. And you can view all of those on our website at columbiasc.edu. Our application is free, and we do have various start dates for all of our programs. So I'm going to go a little bit more specific into the online programs and completion degrees. The programs that you see with an asterisk beside them do indicate that you have to have a specific associate's degree to be accepted into those programs. But this is just our general list of the online programs that we offer. The ones that are more degree completion would be the healthcare studies, health science, human services, and RN to BSN. One of our most popular programs is the speech language pathology program, since we are one of just a few in the state that have that at the undergraduate level. And that program actually will end up leading you to certify as a SLP assistant in the state of South Carolina. So these are a little bit about our online programs. They do run on a 5-week course schedule. So you start new classes every 5 weeks. Students will take 1 to 2 courses each 5 weeks. So there's 3 of those 5-week sessions within a full semester, which allows for 9 start dates total throughout the year, which is really good for students if they decide to come, and they say, hey, I want to start in November. There is that option to start then. And of course, you can start at your regular fall, spring, or summer beginnings of the semester. So that's a little bit about Columbia College, and I am going to pass it over to Avert.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica. I work as an admissions counselor at Avert University. We are a small liberal private college located in Danville, Virginia. So we're right on the border of North Carolina as well. It's about 5 minutes up from the border. We are a private co-ed institution as well. On campus, there's probably about 300 students, but we range about to 1,200 students, including our commuters. And that offers a bunch of traditional undergraduate programs. Our specialties include aviation and equestrian studies. for undergrads. And those are the in-person classes that most people just out of high school move to Danville and take aviation and equestrian with Avert University in person. As in reference to the online studies, we also have another campus that is called the GPS, Graduate and Professional Studies Campus, where we offer a few master's, bachelor's, and an associate's degree. Our biggest applications are for the associates in business administration and then the bachelor's in business administration. So we have a large range of students who are taking on the bachelor's and associate's degrees, and they're all 100% online adult learner students. All of our classes, like I said, are 100% online, and they're asynchronous, meaning that your week will run from Wednesday to Tuesday, and there's no specific times to log into classes and things like that. So you get to go in and do your work at 10 a.m. in the morning if that's what works for you, at 10 p.m. at night if that's what works for you. We are a program designed for working adults because most of our classes are just discussions, just discussion based, and there's going to be reading and writing and essays and things like that. But our programs that are offered besides just the business administration, we also offer a bachelor's in sociology and in criminal justice, and then a little combination bachelor's of the two of those that kind of gears you up to any sort of government work or social work. And it can lead you into the police academy and everything too, if that's something that you're interested in. We also offer a Bachelor of Applied Science. That requirement to get into the Bachelor of Applied Science, you must have an Associates of Applied Science. We like to kind of credit that associates, and you can transfer in up to 90 credits, but the last 30 have to be taken at Avert, but we want to give you credit for all that work you did in your Associates of Applied Science as well. So it basically is just giving you a little more of a concentration and then knocking out those gen eds. We do have master's programs, accountancy, business, education, nursing, applied data analytics, which can get you the SAS certification, and criminal justice and applied healthcare data analytics. Those are pretty new programs, but they're going very well for us. So basically, like I was saying, the classes are asynchronous and your work will run and you can do it whenever is convenient for you. There's no times to log into class or Zoom or anything like that with your professors, but your professors are always there to answer any questions that you have. We kind of run on the same way that Columbia does, but we do 8-week sessions, and there's 6 sessions in a year. So every class lasts for about 8 weeks, and you'll take 1 to 2 classes every 8 weeks, which means there's 4 classes in a full semester, which would make you a full-time student, qualifying you for financial aid if that's something you're interested in. There is options to accelerate in the program. So if you would like to take 3 classes in an 8 weeks, you're more than welcome to do that. That just depends on what classes you'd like to take. And like I said, it's just very much reading based, discussion question based. We do a lot of those. And then you'll probably have a couple larger assignments in a larger group project in each class. But basically it's just for working adults who want to go 100% online. And that's all I have about Avert online.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we wanted to first introduce ourselves and our institutions, and then give you a little bit more information in general about online degree completion programs. So the very first thing is, what is an online degree completion program? It could be a little confusing, but an online degree completion program is actually designed to help you complete the work you have already done towards a 4-year degree. It builds on prior college or life work, so it's not intended for someone straight out of high school or for a student who has finished just 1 or 2 semesters at another college, but more for an adult learner, somebody who's taken a number of credits but does not yet have a 4-year degree completed. This is why with most programs out there, there will actually be a minimum number of credits that you need to be eligible for a degree completion program, or you will be required to have a pre-professional degree and a licensure in cases such as the RN to BSN respiratory therapy, or a number of the other programs that both Meta and Erica mentioned. As an online degree completion is also formatted with the working adult in mind. I think both Meta and Erica pointed that out when they mentioned asynchronous classes. 8-week terms. So classes usually take place entirely online or in the evenings and weekends, or they might take a hybrid format so they can comfortably fit within your schedule and around your responsibilities. The academic calendar is often also different because these programs usually provide an accelerated course of study. So why should you consider an online degree completion program? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2019, the median salary of a person with a bachelor's degree was actually over $20,000 annually than a person a person with some college, or $18,000 more annually than a person with a 2-year degree. Completing a bachelor's degree gives you tremendous opportunities for professional and personal growth and career change or advancement. These degrees are built to be flexible to you specifically. They usually have at least 3 entry points, in some cases 6 entry points. So they definitely have fall, spring, and summer, but with some of the block scheduling, they do have 2 blocks per each of those terms. The classes are often block scheduled, so you can take 2 classes at a time, and when you do that for 2 blocks per term, you're still taking 4 classes in total, but this allows you to focus more on the material right in front of you without the stress of academic overload. You enter the program, you progress through it, and then you graduate at your own pace and on your own schedule. And then the application process is another point that we wanted to talk about the online degree completion programs, because it is a little bit different and it's highly simplified. You've heard from all 3 of our representatives about the programs each of us offer and how simple the application process is, and this is by design as well. Degree completion programs strip the application process to its minimum to make it easier for you. We need the application from the right program. Some professional programs, as mentioned, might also need to see a copy of licensure or specific degree, but your admissions counselor will guide you further through that as needed. And last but definitely not least, we do need all official transcripts from all previously attended institutions. This is very important because we complete evaluations based on these transcripts that confirm your eligibility to the program. And with that in mind, I will actually hand it off to Meta now from Columbia College. She'll tell you a little bit more about the transcript evaluation process.
Hey everyone again. Sorry, I definitely forgot to introduce myself to you all. I just got so excited about Columbia College. But my name is Meta Gauze. I am the online admissions counselor at Columbia College. And I have been here for a little bit over 3 years now. And I just recently jumped into the online programs, was previously the transfer admissions counselor, but that's a little bit more about me. And now I'm gonna get to the stuff that you'll want to know about transfer credits. So you'll definitely want to know what you need to submit to have your credits reviewed. As Melina mentioned, with the application process, you would need to submit your application, transcripts, and then any licensure if required. These things are all going to be needed to get your credits evaluated. We did want to also point out the difference between regional and national accreditation. It can be confusing sometimes. I know that it kind of seems backwards. You would think nationally accredited would kind of go farther, but the regionally accredited institutions like we are only accept credits from other regional institutions. So be sure to check at the school that you're at and make sure that your credits are going to be transferable, because you don't want to lose any time or waste any time taking credits at an institution where they won't transfer. Definitely also look into the grade that's required for the credits to transfer. Typically that's a 2.0 or a C, but double check with the institution and your admissions counselor that you're actually looking at, and they will be happy to help you with that process. As we've mentioned, I think Erica and I both said we accept up to 90 transfer credits. That's another institutional policy, so you can look into that with the admissions counselor or registrar's office at the institutions just to see the maximum number of credits that they transfer. Most schools are going to complete a transfer credit evaluation for you. At Columbia College, we do that after an acceptance decision has been made. So we have all of your transcripts. You've been accepted. We will send everything to our registrar's office, and they're going to complete the transfer evaluation. And it will be a full document that shows you the classes that you've taken and what they count for at the institution that you're coming into. A lot of schools also have programs on their website where you can just plug in like the credits that you've taken at the technical college, and it will spit out what the equivalent is. Unfortunately, at Columbia College, we don't have something like this, but some schools do, so you can definitely look into that, and they may have that available on their website. But if you have a question about any courses that transfer, you can always, reach out to your admissions counselor, and they can double check with the registrar's office if they're not sure which credit that is going to come in as. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is articulation agreements. Some schools have articulation agreements with specific technical colleges, and they may have certain pathways that you can follow so that you know all of your courses are going to come in and count towards your new major. So that's definitely another thing you can look into if you go into your technical college or your other institution and know what path you want to take and which school you are 100% transferring to. You can always look to see if they have articulation agreements, so you'll know for sure that your credits are going to transfer in. So I will let Erica continue with our next information.
So I'm here to tell you a little bit about the financial aid options and opportunities for online learners. And basically, if you know about financial aid, or if you're looking into going into financial aid, what you'll need to do is fill out the FAFSA. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. So this is the form you fill out every year to determine your educational financial assistance from the government. So basically, every year, the fiscal year in schools runs from July to July, or July to June. And so you will fill out the year that you're about to go into. So basically, right now, if you were to apply, you would fill out 2021 for that school year. That's very important. And then when you continue on, you'll fill out the next years and things like that. So basically, when you're filling out that information, it's just trying to determine what aid is needed, how much aid is needed for you. You'll put in your tax information from the last 3 years, I think it is. So if you were filling it out now, it would go back into your 2018 taxes. So you would have to have that information on hand while you fill it out. And then you would plug in your EFC, which is your family contribution. And that determines if you're eligible for a grant. And that will also help determine your aid offer. So one of the big grants that we have, I have it listed on here, is the Pell Grant. So that's awarded to most needy undergraduates who are earning their bachelor's degree online, and it's awarded for 6 full-time years of study. And it might be more in some cases, it might be less in some cases. The EFC will determine that. And then the rest of it will come from unsubsidized loans or subsidized loans, depending as well on whether your need is higher or lower. I also have a little breakdown of those on here. So an unsubsidized Stafford loan begins to accrue immediately. So basically, while you're still in school, and you can make payments on it while you're still in school, but when the federal government money hits your school, the interest will start accruing. And so it's kind of like you're paying for college as you go. And then the subsidized Stafford loan, that's like the secondary loan for needier students who can be just half-time. So you can get that if you're only enrolled part-time, because 12 credits means you're full-time, at least at Avert. And then a little lower than that if you decide to do 1 class each session and then 2 classes a semester, then that would make you half-time and you would still qualify for the subsidized Stafford loan. And in that case, when you graduate, there's a 6-month grace period before your repayment begins and before that interest starts to accrue. When you are filling out the FAFSA, one of the most important things, and if you have filled it out already for other schools and you're deciding to switch schools, all you'll need to do is go in and change your school code. So that is the educational institution eligible to offer financial aid to you from the government. So example, Avert's is 003702. So you would just go in and change that information. After your award is determined, that's when you can decide whether or not you would like to apply for a master promissory note. And that's just the loan application for those unsubsidized and subsidized loans. Then you'll have to complete entrance counseling, which is just an exercise in budgeting. It's just something that students do when they're about to approach these loans. And then any other documentation that might be needed, and FERPA forms, things like that, which are discussing your rights and your release rights and things like that. But there are plenty of opportunities. So basically, when you fill out the FAFSA, it will go to your financial aid counselor and they will see what scholarships you do qualify for. Some scholarships might have additional applications or need additional documentation and everything too. But when they get your FAFSA award, they will try to go in and see what scholarships you're eligible for. Grants, the biggest one for online learners is the Pell Grant, like we talked about. So that's 6 full-time years of study. You can get that, and it won't cover 100% of your school, but it can definitely take a good chunk off of it. A good thing that I like to tell my students about is transfer credits. It doesn't necessarily bring down the cost, but however many transfer credits you have to bring in, that will definitely decrease the overall amount that you will need to pay for whatever new school you're going into. Say you only have 30 credits to complete at avert, and then you would only have to pay 30 for 30 credits. And then there's a lot of military discounts sometimes. I know that we offer 20% tuition discount on our courses for military discounts. We also have discounts for people who are working in the, not in the military, but civilians working for like the services, things like that. And basically, so your admissions counselor or your financial aid counselor can kind of help you, guide you through all this and go through all the steps with you and help you determine your award and go through your master promissory note and break down your payments for you. And that's all from me. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? There's a Q&A tab at the bottom. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to type it in.
I don't see any questions coming in, but maybe we can start by answering some of the most common questions that we get from some of our students. So Erica and Meta, do you get a lot of the same questions sometimes from students, or one or two questions that just kind of tend to appear over and over again?
Personally, for us, I think that the accreditation was a great thing to go over because that's probably the biggest question I get. avert offers to pay for and order your transcripts for you. So that's just something that we try to provide all of our applicants. And sometimes if they don't allow third-party ordering, the applicant will have to go and order and pay for them themselves and have them sent to us. But basically, it's just I liked when Meta went over it, kind of the accreditations of what goes in and your grades that transfer in and things like that. So kind of breaking down the evaluations. So when you get all your transcripts into your admissions counselor, the registrar's office will make the evaluation, and then they can go over it with you and kind of tell you how your transfer credits fit into their curriculum and why those credits fit into your curriculum. I think that's the biggest thing I always talk about with my students.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. The transfer credit part of it is very important for students because they have taken all of these credits and they don't want to waste them or waste any time. I know that students, especially most of our adult learners, are looking to complete a program quickly. So that's another thing that I get a lot is how long will it take me to complete? With our online program specifically being offered year-round, with those new courses starting every 5 weeks, students can typically get done quicker than they would on campus. And I know that that's very important, as well as the online program not having those, times that students have to log in. They can kind of complete it whenever they have time in their day, which is a really great option. And I think that's, basically the main questions I get. And then of course, the financial aid, I think Erica covered it really well as far as that goes. But yeah, I think that's our general most popular questions that I get.
Definitely, I would say the same for Newberry. Adult learners or students who are more of non-traditional age and who are looking into degree completion programs do want to know exactly what Erica and Meta kind of mentioned. The transfer credits, which credits will count, what requirements will be satisfied, as well as prerequisite requirements. So if you're looking at a pre-professional or professional program, ensure that you have those prerequisites met. So the two things that kind of just to echo what my co-presenters said, definitely work with your admissions counselor, especially once your official transcript evaluation is completed. Look it over very carefully. And if you have any questions at all, just give us a call. That's why we're here. We are happy to help, happy to explain everything. And then definitely work with your financial aid counselor, or if your admissions counselor answers the financial aid questions as well, make sure to go over things there too, because sometimes online degree completion programs have different price tag, they might have different eligibility than other undergraduate programs. So for instance, our online degree completion program tuition is cut almost in half. It's actually $3.95 per credit hour, and that includes all the fees. And you have like a one class that you give out for free. So the orientation class, the college 101 class, we don't charge you for it. And I'm sure that my co-presenters can tell you the same, like attest that sometimes the degree completion programs have different price tags. So if you're on the website and just looking at things, you might not get the right information. So reach out to all the people who are available as resources to you with every institution.
Yeah, and you can find all of our contact information. We didn't include it here in the slide, but you can definitely look us up on our respective websites. If anybody wants my personal email, you can definitely email me at mgause@columbiasc.edu, and I'll let my other presenters share their email addresses as well in case anybody would like to contact them.
I had a question for you guys. I'm not sure if you do. Do you offer your online studies to everyone all over the country, or are you limited to South Carolina?
Newberry is part of NC-SARA, so we offer it to anyone across the country. So we can accept students from all 50 states.
Great. That's how we work too.
Yeah, same with Columbia College.
Wonderful. Well, I am not Matthew Mann, like my thing says. I'm filling in for him. My email is Erica, or is E.D. Englehart, and it's a long last name, but E.D. and then ENGLEHART, and I'm at avert.edu.
And my email address is actually my first name, period, last name at newberry.edu. So it's milena.velez@newberry.edu.
Wonderful, thank you all. I'm gonna come in now and just share the final slide with you. So we, again, thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a quick 4-question survey that we ask you to fill out. We'd appreciate any feedback. Also, this was, again, just one of the many sessions being hosted. It goes in for the next 2 weeks. So please be sure to sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org or CACRAO.org. And in about a week, you'll be able to get a recording of this on the same website if you wanted to refer back, if you needed to get their emails or any of the great information our presenters just shared with you. But we thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.